Good evening, Jace.
Good evening, Shawn.
What is happening in Jace land tonight?
We are working on some IGs. I'll take IGs better than Grogu. I see you, Ronan. I
Oh,
see you, Ronan.
I see the two thumbs down. So apparently we have this thumbs down contest now. So I will have you know that this was one of the most labor intensive and visually appealing shows to put together. So you take your thumbs down and you go elsewhere. I worked on a bunch of graphics, trying to fine tune and tweak things. I told my wife that I better get good at doing this after nearly 3 years invested, or just stop doing it altogether. So I'm not sure which end of the spectrum I'm at, but I put a lot of work. I was up another 5 o'clock morning just to prep show, and then back here at 5:30 this evening to get some more done. So those thumbs down, you can go elsewhere, like I said. But welcome to the 18 people. Thank you for the thumbs up, by the way, that just converted over. So we trade in thumbs up currency here. Do appreciate that. So Jason and I got a fun show for you tonight. We're going to do our last week in Legion, as we do every single week. We are also going to be talking extensively and probably in depth about the League Season 2. Obviously, we're hyped to finish Season 1, but Season 2 is like literally around the corner. There's no reprieve in the league. We just keep rolling. We're resetting the button, getting the new format and a few tweaks to the format, relatively the same. We got new players. I saw several new players join, which is fantastic. I know some old players who are in the league haven't signed up yet. We'll talk about that and when you need to hit that cutoff. We have some people helping us out in the league as well. We'll give them a shout out. We have been covering the finals as well, the final four, and we do have a game this Saturday, and we'll set the stage for that. And we also have just a little bit of a world's announcement. Jason, I got the email. We'll share it to you in case you didn't get it and tell you what that's all about. I don't even need to look in this chat to know that there's already tomfoolery and shenanigans happening. We are also going to do another episode of Make It Better. And of course, tonight, if you did not know, it's ladies' night tonight. So, yeah. So welcome, everyone.
Uh,
Go
Ronan,
ahead.
there is one on the calendar.
All right. Jace has got a
There's
haircut
one on the
appointment.
calendar.
Oh,
See,
fantastic.
so
Yeah. It's also written on his calendar on the fridge in crayon. So he
you
doesn't
bet.
forget. So, there
That's
is
that's the
that.
true calendar. This is just the backup.
Yeah. Let's give some shout outs here, Jace, before we do all the other things. If you want to do that, do you want to hit the chat?
Yeah, you bet. So of course, Ronan's in here mocking me as always, along with Ryan. Hello there with his hot takes. Mr. Witty's here working on his IG bots. Nice. J Rod, good to see you again here. Mr. Bob Shadow here. Seeing. Oh, I'll have the IGs done before. Ben, I'm hoping to have both IGs as well as Din done by the end of this show. So we will see. Patrick checking in from Belgium. Awesome. Our European friends are here. Striker's here with his favorite Crayola. And Shawn Death. When Ryan's invite attached to your Shawn, there was a mix up at AMG. Yep.
Yep.
Good,
There's
good
B
to see
Smith
Bernard here.
B Smith
Yep,
getting ready
B.
for
Smith.
bed. That's typical. Yeah, it is 7:42. I'm surprised he's
Yep,
still up.
exactly.
And Bernard, we only pick on Jace because he's a legend. That is
Exactly.
100% how that works. So. And then we got Ben in here as well, Mr. Bob Shadow. What are we going to cover on tonight's show? In addition, obviously, like I said, this is season 2. So if you look at the title, this is part 2. So last week he sort of introduced the top 4, talked about that. We're gonna wind down season 1, and we're gonna talk about season 2. Like I said, making sure if you guys aren't in, how to get in, and what you might get into. So. Of course, Friday Night Fights, we did not come to you last week. I was actually helping out at a school event. We planned to go slightly later. Then Anthony had an event come up. Then we were going to try to do Saturday. Jace couldn't do Saturday. And then I ended up casting on Sunday. So we'll try to give you a game. Jace, are you available for this Friday? I didn't ask you, but
You bet. I am
okay,
available this
so
Friday.
Jason Anthony back in, and other Jace is working on getting the swoop bikes because I'd like to play my next game, at least in part, with some Shadow Collectives. So, and the Empire is all sent off because Ronan has the Empire, and he's actually going to be doing some painting. We're going to be showing you all of the fantastic work that's happening there, as well as inviting him on to talk about his painting commission service. And so if you want to see, you're going to see my stuff get experimented on, which is going to be great. and then you guys may want to take advantage of that. If you're like me and you just have tons of free time to paint, but you just choose not to, then yeah, he might be a service that you might want to use, and I'm gonna probably come strongly recommended, and we'll see the stuff on Friday Night Fights, which is good, and it'll make Bernard happy. We'll also be talking about the top 2. That game is set. We'll be talking about that, giving a little bit of a preview, and then of course we'll talk about when to register for the league, and that'll be the last part of that. So lots about the league. Of course, we've been putting a lot of time, effort, and energy into that, and so you got to give us the platform to share that stuff. Speaking of platform, Jace, there's a transition. Social media platforms, where do people find us on the interwebs?
You bet. So check us out on Facebook, Star Wars Legion Friday Night Fights, and Twitter and Instagram at Legion_FNF. All the boys are usually up there updating stuff on there. And as well, check out the Patreon at the Terrain Studio, because there is some cool stuff that we're going to be showing you today.
Yes, I will talk about that right now. So I just put an update video on there. I got an order in from Green Stuff World, so I was talking about that. Some stuff for a project I'm working on, some stuff just for the hobby end of the business, just tools and things to have in studio. I also talked about making the foam tiles. Going to be working on a different substrate. Well, same substrate, but in a different format. So I just talked a little bit about that. I'm going to be ready to start boxing out this table, and it's going to basically change from Minecraft to hopefully Shire World. That is the intent. If you want to follow that progress, you can. Has been a nice little uptick in patrons, so you can jump in at 2, 5. Actually, you can come 1, 2, 5, or 15, depending on what level you want to get in. If you want all the video content, both past, present, and future, $5 gets it to you. If you want to have interactions or further conversations or perhaps consultations with me, you can do the $15 level. There's perks as well, $15 when we have the perks. That's the level that generally that stuff goes out at. You can also be a $2 supporter ongoing, and you do get basically all the content that comes out. $2 is just to say, hey, we like what you're doing, and here's some help. So, but of course, all help is greatly appreciated. So go check that out as well. There is a ton of people who are in chat who are also part of the Patreon. Speaking of perks, I put this photo up here. It's a very poor photo. I will also show you in my hand and maybe zoom in with my camera. This is the sample token. So let me just zoom in here. So you can see they're a lot better than that. The glare is just hard to take away when I photo with a camera. There's a lot of lights here too, but that's how bright and sort of vibrant they are. But one of the things I don't really super like about this is the background was a little darker than I wanted to, and I want to outline the shield. So I have 2 more samples at the printer right now. They're going to print me 2 more samples for contrast, and then I'm going to decide which one I want to roll with. Somebody asked me about the white edge. In order to get your edges to line up and print, you can, and they will be, but they have to do a run of 25, and it's pointless to get a sample done for 25 just because it's excessive cost and you don't get the cost break. So that's why the edges are white, and the back sides, no problem there. Very, very readable from a distance. I will focus back on my face here so you guys can see I'm about 2.5 feet away from the camera, but you guys can see you can pick those up literally across the room. So that's the heavy there, special forces there, and again, that's what the tokens look like. So it's there, you can see it, it's all good. Okay, so that is what's happening there. I anticipate that I'll probably have this sorted out very soon, probably like before the middle of November, and I'm hoping to have these in time for Christmas, meaning patrons can get them as a perk, and I can get them mailed out to folks. Okay, Jace, let's jump back in. We have a ton of stuff to get to, but let's talk about your last week in Legion, including what you're doing right now.
You bet. So my last week in Legion has included going out to the store to pick up good old Din, the IGs, and of course the limited edition Grogu for
Ryan,
free,
where's yours
I
at?
was not going to. Yeah, Ryan, where to go? I didn't have to pay anything for mine either, so that's good because I was not going to pay for it.
And you shouldn't be. So.
No, exactly.
Okay, well, yeah. So you got some models. Yeah. What else happened in Legion last week?
We got some models, and we are building some of them right now, and that is all the Legion I've been able to get to this week.
Okay. Well, when we miss the fight, we basically miss a week of Legion. So.
Yeah, exactly.
What did I do? I didn't do anything in Legion in terms of building. Did I? No, I worked on the other project. Nothing in terms of Legion. I worked in the studio a bunch, getting a ton of the league stuff done. So that sort of counts in Legion, and I'll talk more about that when I get there. I did cast 2 games. Myself and Mike Dashus, we have taken. Well, I've taken to his Twitch stream, so Dashus TV. So you guys can check that out. Cast both of the top 4 games, I guess. So it was Debaticus versus Dan. I did that one last night. Fantastic. Actually, both were fantastic. Dan versus Debaticus last night. That was Empire v Clones. I think it was 2 nights previous. I casted the Jake and Canadian Bears game, also Empire v Clones. Also cool and fun. And I know some people were in the chat, or who are in chat now, right now, were watching. So that was super fun. I got on there, did some commentary, some insights, and some sweating. Man, I was sweating last night watching that game. Not because it was hot here, because I didn't know which way it was going to go, and the dice were on fire. That's all I'm going to say, because I don't want to spoil the game if you didn't see it. But go check them out. You will not be disappointed by either one. Watch them from start to finish. Both needed all the turns for those games to happen. And there was no shortage of action. I was scratching my head at times, shaking my head at other times, shaking my fist at times, and pumping my fist at other times. So there was a lot of emotions up and down. So yeah, great games. Go check that out. And thanks to Dashes for just jumping on and doing those games so people could consume them. Those guys worked hard to get to those spots, and they deserve to have some spotlight there as they finish out first round of the league. So that was my last week in Legion. Friday night fights, Jace. People can find us. Where do they find us, and then what are they watching?
You bet. So you can find us right here on the Terrain Studio YouTube channel every Friday night fight up on here. We did not have a show last week, but if you haven't seen it, you should definitely go back and watch our dynamic exit that we did 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so that's actually there if you want to talk a bit about that.
Yeah, you bet. So we played a great game of dynamic exit. It was our first time playing. Neither me nor Anthony had played it before. There was a lot of salt that came out. There was oh man, there was a lot of Wookiee fur being burnt by super hard hitting T-21s. There was Padme just smashing her way at that computer keyboard terminal. Lots of fun action for you to check out.
Yeah, definitely go check that out. On the topic of checking things out, people who help us, companies that help us produce and make Friday Night Fights happen. We have Deep Cut Studios, obviously, providing us with the gaming mats. So we have a boatload of those. Go check them out. We say it every week. They support us, but you guys can get the same quality mat in your basement. You just got to go to the website, check it out. So that is super important for you guys to go check out. We also want to thank legionterrain.com. They help us out, give us some tables, multiple tables actually, multiple pieces of terrain. We have the painted version, so if you see the stuff on our channel, that's exactly what you get when you buy it. It's really important for us. We want to highlight things that is obtainable to you, the viewer. So there's no tricks, there's no studio work on things. Well, there is some studio work on some things, but the majority of what we have, we showcase exactly as you get, and we do that for a reason. Super exciting news. Want to thank and onboard. Imperial Terrain is actually coming on as an official supporter of the channel. So we use a lot of Imperial Terrain already, and most of the time, I will tell you, we start as customers first and supporters second. So Imperial Terrain, we have stuff. I've literally seen stuff when I was walking in the house today. It's on the printer, getting ready to ship to the studio. So you guys give them a shout out in the chat. They were going to be producing stuff for us here to use. So that is fantastic. And a little foreshadowing, a little preview. Corvus Games Terrain is also coming on board. They will be coming on board in January, but I didn't want to wait because I think it's good and important to make sure we thank and express our gratitude towards the sponsors who are coming on. They're really just going to be sending us more stuff for you guys to see. It's going to help us vary the tables, get those really unique looks each and every week so that you guys get a different look and a different feel for each Friday night fight. And that is a baby screaming upstairs. So in addition to that, so obviously companies help us out a ton, but we also want to thank all the donators and the patrons. I want to thank Nicholas Van Dyke and Soren Pop for coming on this week on the Patreon. So they joined this week in addition to all the folks that have been on there, both past and present. And let me just preview this. Jace, this is important. So
You
we
bet.
have donators, we have supporters for sure. But let me just, so that helps us and it helps you guys in the viewership. But check this out. You guys know we do a Christmas show each and every year, or we've done, I guess, one last year, and we planned on doing some more, and we talked about that. So here's what we have lined up right now for the Christmas giveaways. We want to first thank Back to Basics, Dice Time, Terrain Studio, Imperial Terrain, and of course, Pally from the Streets, Bryant as well from
Woo!
Phoenix Games Australia. Check on the left or the right hand side of the screen. It's over there as well. This is what we have for the giveaways. And you guys know our giveaways are well, they're, unless Ryan's running them, they're pretty hoop friendly, meaning you don't need to do a lot. The Christmas giveaway is going to be no different than that. You guys are going to tune in for a Friday night fight. We'll make it extra special. We'll do some giveaways, but here's what we have so far. Coming in from the bottom, Phoenix Games Australia is giving us not one, but two battle forces. And we're going to have all four battle forces. But I think what we're going to do is we're just going to let the viewers, or the winners, I should say, pick the battle force that they want. So Brian's going to actually send two battle forces out. This is, you're getting a battle force, no cost, no hoops, free of charge. What do you need to do? Watch the show. News from the Streets, Pally. Oh, yes, he's also giving out a battle force. Fantastic. Dice Time, we got 9 more alt arts. 9 seems like a lot, but it's actually about half of what we actually had because we've already given out a number of alt arts. Shout out in chat if you've already received one. Back to Basics, they're already doing a bunch for us here, but they have a 6-piece brush set, and if you haven't seen their brushes, they're really cool. They're 2-part. You can tuck in the handle and the bristles inside, so they're nice and protected. They're great for traveling if you want to do that, or just keep them in a smaller spot so they don't get damaged. Also has given us a Sabine and a Bosk and 14 packs of card sleeves, 50 in a pack of Star Wars card sleeves for cards. You can use them for whatever card game you like. Myself, I'm going to be giving out a custom set of the FNF tokens, 2 free months on the top tier of the Patreon. So if you want to join, check in what it's all about, free of charge. I'm also going to be doing 3 sets of the battle sleeves. You guys have seen them, and a battle force coming from me as well to round out all 4 battle forces. So that's where we're starting. I don't think that's where we're going to end. So tune in for the Christmas special. We're going to go December 30th for that. So tune in for that. You got to be there to win, and you got to make sure you stick around because you never know. I don't know how many prizes we got on there. We got 4, 5, 6, 7, 21, 22, 23, 29. We got basically 40-ish, 45-ish prizes already. I think that beats our number from last year, and we should have some more, so tune in for that. What do we do? Well, you guys give us support in various ways. We turn that around and turn that into giveaways and various other things, and you guys also help us out to get to our goals. As you guys know, our support wall is growing. It's been stuck at 24 for a while, so we need a little bump on that, but we are getting there. We had a lofty goal, and we do thank you guys for getting us this far. We know you guys will push us over the edge, well, maybe in more ways than one, particularly you, Brian. Just shouting out to Ryan as well, getting lots of shout outs tonight. Yeah, we've been creeping up, but we do greatly appreciate that, and hopefully you guys will stick around for the Christmas special. Shout out to in the chat if you guys appreciate what we have donated already, and don't thank us, thank the donators for sure. So all right, Jace, you want to get into some league information?
Oh, you bet I do.
Yeah, all right. Okay, so the league round top 2 is set. It is finalized. Spoiler alert, I'm going to tell you who's in the top 2 in a second. So if you want to watch those Twitch streams, go away, get a coffee, do whatever you need to do. Plug your ears, earmuffs, all those good things, because the top 2 set, and I'm going to give you spoilers if you haven't watched the Twitch stream. So here it is. Jake, Mr. Witty, 82, Wit is going to be facing Michael Debaticus Beltram. I have played both individuals, great folks. They've made their way, they've clawed their way to the top, and in a classic Empire versus Empire battle. So no foreshadowing, but maybe Empire's okay right now. This battle is going to be featuring a double bounty, Stormtrooper, Shore Trooper heavy, ISF Iden list, if that wasn't enough of a descriptor. Oh yeah, by the way, some snipers in there, versus almost a mirror, but in a little bit of a different format. A Vader IRG, so that's obviously not the mirror, but a couple snipers, a few shore troopers with heavies, some mortars. There's a mortar on the other side as well, and some strike teams. So we're going to have strike teams, mortars, shores, and storms on both sides. And then you're going to have the Vader IRG get up in the front and mix, and the Vader and the Boba Bosk Iden on the other side. So you got this, morass that's going to likely happen in the middle, some bounty potential out there, lots of range for trading and suppressive shots and snipers and pierce and all that good stuff that Empire likes. You're going to have red saves v red saves. I think Michael's got the bid here. So whether he exercises blue, which he probably will, it's going to be interesting. I know that. This is Jake's already declaring himself champion. Fair enough. But that is happening Saturday night at 8. We do not have a streamer for this yet, so we'll hopefully have somebody pick that up. I would be willing to jump in and do some casting if we get that up and rolling. So stay tuned for that. We'll, of course, bring you the results either way. But good luck, gentlemen. That will conclude League Season 1. And maybe we'll have a little conversation around what we might need to do to these guys come Season 2. We're actually going to get into Season 2 here straight away because I want to talk more about the league. But I first want to thank Michael from tellmetheodds.net. By the way, I took a screenshot of all those wizard calls. I think you guys should give the wizard call again in chat right now so I can keep sending it to him week after week after week until we get Michael back. But tellmetheodds.net is a courtesy of Michael. It tells you all the odds. I will tell you right now, there was some wonky odds happening in last night in Dan and Debaticus's game. So I didn't need to go to Tell Me the Odds to figure out 100% average. All I'm going to say, at one point, there was 11 hits rolled natty, and there was 9 saves rolled natty, and I'm not going to tell you how that happened, but I will tell you that's 100% happening 100% of the time. It was unreal. We also want to thank Aaron at Back to Basics Wargaming Products, of course. Aaron was running an 8-hour hobby stream on the weekend. He was having some technical difficulties but he soldiered through. He was in and out. He was resetting. He was getting the thing. I know what that's like. So I was sympathetic to Aaron, but he powered through and he had some stuff. And man, he had some giveaways, fantastic giveaways. Sometimes there was only like 2 people in and he ran it. So really good odds. So next time he has a hobby stream on, he runs on Sundays, Australian time. So it's Saturdays for us. But go check him out. He's in our Discord. Give him a shout out. He's working hard. He's trying to get that traction going. We can do a lot for him in terms of just showing up and being a viewer. So let's try to do that, folks. So, okay. 8 CST. What is that in Belgium? I have no idea, Patrick, but I'm going to guess super early, maybe. Super early, super late. I don't know. We can figure it out for you. All right, let's get into here. You guys know Season 1 ended like this. That was Season 1. That's all the players from start to finish. That's all the point totals. Those are erased starting in Season 2. So this is old news. What did you need to pay attention to? Well, you needed to pay attention to the top 4. So Debaticus, Mr. Witty, Canadian Bear, and Dan from Down Under. Don't even worry about that guy who's got his name scratched out and underlined and grayed out. That's just a story we do not need to get into. However, we have a 1v2. I mean, they're pretty tight through there. Debaticus had a slight lead going in there. Mr. Witty, Canadian Bear, and Dan, they couldn't have been any closer, really. But what we're going to have is a 1v2 matchup in the top 4. Jace, you got any predictions with that? I never asked you. Any predictions? I'm going to say Empire's probably got the edge, but which Empire?
Yeah, I think all that we can say from this is Empire's OP. Please nerf. And,
immediately, yeah.
Yeah, immediately. And honestly, I want to give it to Vader. I think Vader, because Vader's got the bid too, so I think Vader can put in some work, and I think he can carry the team. Okay,
so Jace going Vader. If you guys want to get your, there's 25 of you in chat right now, which is great for a Tuesday show. Why don't you guys get that in there? I kind of gave you the preview. You got double bounty, Iden on one side, and you got Vader IRG on the other. It's triple short, triple mortar, heavies in all of them. Give us a shout out. It's Jake and Debaticus. Don't worry about the player. Just pick the list. So go with that. Give us your shouts, and we will definitely love to hear what you have to say. Let me go back to chat here because there's been a ton of stuff in here. Jace, what do you got if you want to pick some stuff out here too? So I think the Star Wars Christmas special is OP and needs to be nerfed. If you're referring to our Christmas special, I 100% agree.
Probably.
It is way overpowered. We have way too many prizes already. So we have that. Vader IRG Edge coming in from Tom. Tom saying, show me the wizard for sure. Phoenix Games Australia. Missed that. Sorry, Brian, checking in here. Oh, how about this just coming in here randomly in chat? Phoenix Games Australia already giving us 2 battle forces. No, not enough. Now we're throwing in a DIN and an IG for the supporters who have donated through the year to the prize pool. Let's jump back there real quick. So if you are on, this is Brian, this is 100% him. If you're on the donator wall here, so that's Donnie, Ryan, Jacob, Richard, Todd, Graham, Stan, JD, Shawn, and Bernard. He's thrown in a special prize that we're going to draw just from that list. Now, this is going to incentivize, of course. I think that is Bryant's intent, but we're going to say you have until the Christmas special. So any amount helps us out. Doesn't matter. He didn't specify that, so you guys can help us out. Get your name in that prize draw for a DIN and an IG. That's a separate one. Thank you, Bryant. Generous as always. So that is happening. Boom, boom, boom. Vader's back is sore from carrying the game last night, and he'll be thankful for the rest. Michael in chat with the insight on Vader. Absolutely. I think Michael should have bought a lottery ticket last night, and if he did, he probably won that too. So yeah, and Bryant says, yep, until the draw. Awesome. Appreciate that. Okay, we know the Christmas giveaway. We know the league. We know that's concluding. We've thanked our sponsors. The Final Four was set. We previewed that. Season 2. What are we talking about? Shawn Death with the correct Bravo. Phoenix Games absolutely deserves more of those. So hit the thumbs up if you appreciate the donation from Bryant, all the donations from Bryant, as well as the others. So we have season 2 of the league. It is officially starting November 1. We're going to do a league launch show on Tuesday. Happens to fall on a Tuesday, which is great. You have until October 30th to register and send your list. I will give you the details of who you're sending things to, as well as the shout outs for who is helping us. But Jace, let's spend a little bit of time, and I know some of you know this, so bear with us. We have other viewers and people that consume this down the road, and because we have so many new people in, I think it's worthwhile, and that means we potentially have some new folks joining as well. But here is the league format. So we're running 6 rounds. Each round is going to run 6 weeks, not 4. Why? Because we're upping the number of people in the pods, and we want to give people more chance to play. We ran pods of 4 last time with 4 weeks, and you had basically max 3 games. We found that some people, unfortunately, but we know that life happens, weren't getting in more than 1 or 2 games, and those people felt, hey, I'm missing out on these rounds and these points, and so they wanted to be incentivized to play more games and incentivize other people. So we figured the best way to do that, increase the pod size, give you a slight bit more time. So now you can have 5 games in 6 weeks. It's still basically a game a week pace, which is great, but you're going to have the opportunity to play more games potentially. Maybe you only get to chance. Maybe your life is the one that says I can only play 2 games, but you will not be messing other people up from playing multitude of games. So that is one of the changes that we have for this round. Of course, randomized sort for round 1. Everybody who's in the league will be randomly sorted into pods of 6, 5, or 6, depending on what kind of balance we can make with the number of registrants. And then after that, you will be shuffled into tier A and tier B. We'll take the top half; they go to A. Bottom half go to B. We'll reshuffle those, and you play again. We do that basically 5 times, rounds 1 through 6. Points out here, players 5 and 6 in per pod. How do you earn points, Jace? You want to cover that part off there?
Yeah, you bet. So, points earned. 1 point for just playing a game. You play a game, you get a point. Boom. You don't even have to win. You just have to show up, play the game. You get 2 extra points if you end up winning the game. Lucky bonus. And then if you complete 4 or more of your 5 games in the round, you get a bonus point.
Perfect. I'm just going to quickly I realized that I didn't, we said, hey, this is how you can support, and I literally probably did not highlight how and where you can do that. So let me just point that out. That is the email right there. Yeah, so incentivized to play, incentivized to work hard. So we still value wins, of course, but we value playing your games, and then we value you getting all your games in. So shout outs to all those people who played all of their games in all the rounds. Good on you. You guys earn bonus points for doing that, and we want to hopefully incentivize you to do that again. Small caveat here, it's 4 or more games now. So if you're in a pod of 6 players, obviously 5 is the most you can play. We're going to give you the bonus if you get 4 or more, understanding that we didn't want to de-incentivize people from playing games. And if you miss it by 1, we wanted to make sure you still got the bonus. You can only ever get 1, and you play people 1 time. If you want to play them multiple games, that's fine, but you only get 1 that counts. So if you want to play the same guy 6, 7 times, that's fine, but you're only going to count that first one, and you can only get the 1 bonus point. Oh, what's happening there? At the conclusion of any round, the top 3 are going to go up, and the bottom 3 will go down. If there's an uneven number of players, we'll round up the top 3 no matter what. So that's really important. And at the start of any round, when we form those, we'll obviously have some people who will drop off and people who will come in. We won't put any new players and or returning people. If you skip around, you'll always go to tier B, and we'll do that for the round you come in. Obviously, you can then earn your way back to tier A. So A is probably going to be smaller on average than B, unless we somehow have people drop off at the bottom and don't gain any people. But hopefully we can keep them fairly balanced. You'll be in a pod of 5 or 6, basically, no matter what. So that's important. Lists are locked for the round you're in, but you can randomly change in between rounds. But there's a caveat on there. Jace, you want to cover off the banning process and how that works?
Yeah, you bet. So, because our league runs 6 rounds, we have this super fun thing to make it a little different. So, you can't just keep running the same list every time. You got to think a little. Round 1, just do what you want, build whatever list you want. As long as it is street legal, we play Street Legion here.
Street Legion.
It's got to be released out into the public. But starting from the second round onwards, we will always be putting in a ban. All players in the league can get to vote on the bans. So round 2 would be the commander ban for all factions. So everybody would get a vote of 1 commander per faction, and whichever commander for each faction gets the most votes. Can't take them that turn. Round 3 is operative. Round 4 is special forces. Rounds 5 is support, and round 6 is heavy. And to note, rounds 4, 5, and 6, Shadow Collective is Collective is excluded from the votes because they've only got 1 of each of those, so they can't really you can't really ban those, and that because then you take away their whole list.
Yeah, absolutely. So that will be important. Now, if something happens, because obviously this league's gonna run for a considerable amount of time, and it's an investment, but really this is about building our community. That's why we didn't make it a short duration. And we also wanted to have people be able to jump out and in. We know seasons happen and there's different parts of the year. So we wanted to make this something that you didn't have to decide initially, like right at the hop. If you can't be in, you can't be in. If you want to join and something comes up, you got the ability to jump out. But then when you jump out, you don't have that, oh man, now I need to wait like a gazillion years to get back in. You have the option to come in and out, and that's important. If something along the way changes where, let's say suddenly Shadow Collective has like 3 releases and we have a rank that's flushed out, we will consider going back there and saying, hey, you know what, they got enough that we can run a vote here, and we will. So we reserve the right to kind of do that. So so look for that. But right now, as is, as written, we'll play it like that. Maps for each round will be selected, and all players will use the same maps. We'll give you 3 per round. Blue player still has map choice. That didn't seem to be OP at all. In fact, I'm pretty sure more red players won in round 1. But if this is important, if you're blue player, and you guys know your points because you'll share in your pods, if you opt to play as red, you must do that before the map happens, and you give up the option to select the map too. You don't get to be blue, pick the map, and then opt to go red. So that's quite an important distinction to be made there. If during play there's any discrepancy, we use the rule of, hey, figure it out yourself. If you can't, go to the judge channel, make a judge call if you want. However, players are just encouraged to keep it working them out by themselves. And if you have to call down the wrath of judgment, we'll give that to you. We'll make it distinct and clear. I don't think really that happened at all. Some people would jump into the live stream and ask, but I didn't have to deal with any disputes. And the first round the first season ran 6 months, and I sorted out 0 disputes. just pointing that out. Player information regarding player signups and list submissions. We have a channel on the Discord. Player information's there. How it's going to work, and we want to thank these people. So Shawn Death, who's in chat or was in chat, could still be there. He is going to be the man that's doing the point totals. So you guys will be reporting in your channels, in your pod channels as normal. You keep track along the way. We use the honor system. At the end, you'll post your total for the round. He will verify that you got all the players in there. I encourage you guys to check, make sure everyone's got it correct. So Shawn Death will manage that. We do not have a map picker yet, but that will happen. B Smith is going to be running the back end and making your pods and getting you channel permissions to do that. So thanks, B Smith. He's already gone to bed, but we'll thank him. And Graham is going to be, what is Graham doing? I forgot. Graham is doing, what did you say you were going to do, Graham? Why did I forget this? Graham is doing something super, super important, and I forget what it is already. Graham is, let me just check here. I got to check who's got what. I'm already forgetting all the things. I forgot. Graham is what is Graham? Oh yes, Graham is going to handle all the list submissions. Perfect. There he is. Thank you. So Graham, it's at Canadian Bear for your list submissions. Lists are due by the sign up and end of sign up. So make sure you get them October 31st or before. If you sign up, send your list to Graham. Jake's got map picking because I just decided right now. Jake is there. He's getting the coffee. That is accurate. I probably need to have another cup of tea. So Jake's got maps because I just decided, and that was decided right now. Canadian Bear has your list. Shawn has the points total, and B Smith's got the permissions. I will be doing all the other things that happen in the league, which is pretty much nothing now. So I will just focus on playing some Shadow Collective, so which will be fun. I enjoyed the round 1 of the league, and I'm looking forward to season 2. There's the sign up right there. Sign up on the Discord. And he will have them by the weekend. It'll be 3 per round. They'll fluctuate, but they will stay stagnant for all players for that round. So everyone gets the same sort of exposure. Signups will be running from now, and they're on there. So if you go on the Discord, if you want an invite, let us know. We can get that to you. You go to the sign up, season 2 sign up, you put a green check mark or in, I add you to the list, and you're good to go. This is the number of people that we have signed up already. Myself, Debaticus, Mr. Witty, JD, Kokazula, Canadian Bear, Emmanuel, Syfe Dog, don't call me Psych Dog, OS Dad, Justice, Bobster, Shawn, S Parks, GM Smithers, J-Rod, Eric, Strange Event, Tactical Genius, Exile Bullet, new, Nate the Great, new, Bear Chemist, new, Dashes, new, Silent Sword, new, Commander KQ, new, and Monty Python, new. So a ton of new people in there, and I'm missing some names. And Jace, I don't see your name there. When are you coming in? And it better be before Ryan.
It should hopefully be before Ryan. I will be coming in January once I'm finally done my last class.
All right. So you heard it here first. Jace is in. It'll be in January, so that it'll be what's happening. Striker is already calling in chat that he will definitely stream some games for people. So look forward to that. And we got a long league, so I anticipate that we'll have people come and go. Jake says ban swoops. I missed that one. That doesn't sound like a fun thing at all. At all. Bernard, we are going to be definitely using the relegation system here. I like the tier A and B. That sounded better, I think, when I was planning it out. So that is happening. Okay, there's some more things happening. We're already well into the show, and that covers off the league. Now we have news from the streets. And this is the news, Jace. Why don't you talk a little bit about this? Why don't you give us what does this lengthy email here basically say?
Yeah, so some of you, as well as me and Shawn, may have got this email yesterday. Just pulling it up here. Hello, they are congratulating us on qualifying for 2023 Worlds in Adepticon.
Earned 2019.
That's yep, earned earned 2019. Sweet. They're hosting it at Adepticon. They just go into why they felt they chose Adepticon. They're telling you to book a hotel room, even though you can't buy Adepticon tickets for another 2 to 3 months.
Yep.
And then they want you to you have to confirm your attendance to Worlds
by Friday
in 3 days.
Yeah.
By Friday.
Yeah.
So Shawn, have you confirmed your attendance?
I confirmed my attendance. I confirmed that I did not have a hotel because I want to make sure I have a ticket. I want to make sure all the things. I'm probably going to see if I can room up with some people, meet up with some people, do some things. So if you're going there and you want you want a stylish individual like myself to be hanging out, I'll definitely be down for that. Yeah, yeah, I agree, Ben. It was a little bit of a tight turnaround. I'm not sure why so tight, but Ryan, are we bunking? Wow, I should have put a disclaimer on what I just said there. But we can chat. We can chat, Ryan. I didn't even know you had a Worlds invite. Is that accurate? I need Stryker to
Yeah.
verify. Can you fact check this, please? I need to.
Yep.
I need to make sure
I,
this
I,
individual's
I don't
even
think this is real.
allowed in there. So, Ronan said he's getting an Airbnb. So here's a better question, Ronan. Do you want Ryan to be bunking with you? I'm going to leave that up to other people because if other people can't vet Ryan for me, I'm not sure I need to make that decision on my own. I'm not sure if I'm capable of making that decision on my own. So Jace, did you confirm?
I have not confirmed, and based on the tight turnaround, there is a very low chance that I'll be able to get the vacation time confirmed by Friday.
Right, and that's a bad time for you with the tax man needing to
Yeah.
collect the funds. So yeah,
Yeah.
um,
If Adepticon was at the beginning of March, we'd probably be good to go. But
yeah,
the end of March is
yep.
not great.
True. Yeah, and this might not be an AMG thing at all. This might be Stryker saying, "Hey, maybe this is Asmodee needing to confirm." I mean, I'm gonna guess that Adepticon probably needs this confirmation because they're talking about like Armada and X-wing and Legion, and that's a lot of space, and probably Crisis Protocol, and so I can imagine that these guys are going to be taking up a significant portion of real estate. Needing to know the numbers makes sense to me. I'm not suggesting that this is too far out for the Adepticon confirmation. I'm just suggesting that the tight turnaround on the email for people. So like if this went into somebody's like secondary account or junk mail or all those things, because I did not see a post on the transmissions or on the website for this. So you would
Yeah.
have thought this
Nope.
would have been smattered a bit wider because I don't want someone to miss the confirmation. And it doesn't suggest here if you don't that you'd immediately lose your ability to go. But I just want to make sure people can see that. So that's why we chose to sort of do that for the 25 people who are checking this out. So, yeah, so that's happening. All right, well, that's some AMG news. How about this AMG news? Jace already talked a little bit about this, but why don't you, Jace? So, how do people get this? Where do they get it? What's special about it? What's on the box? Like, what do you get in there? What's all the things? Search your feelings. Share.
Yeah, you bet. So this, if you haven't followed the Legion news recently and all the hype around the super limited edition Grogu that people just found out is a thing, like as it was coming out, that is it. That is the box. As shown before, we got the box right here. It is supposed to not be for retail, so
Yep.
it's supposed to be given out. It's supposed to be given out for pre-orders or something. I'm not completely sure, but I got one right here, and I haven't actually opened it. So
It's happening right
we'll give
now.
it.
I also have one. So
Yeah.
Ronan said he spent
All right.
50 on his.
Whoo, $50. Mine was you purchase Din and IG and you get it. All right, so looks like we got two items in here. We got this. Read this first. They're going to tell you to use. Yep, go find that, and then they give you your half a page of art of
Okay.
Grogu. Very nice, and then you get two baggies, and this is it.
Awesome. It's a piece of debris that comes with a sprue or comes with a base.
Yep. So you get a base, and then you get Grogu, which is one molded piece, and then his hands holding the teacup are a separate piece.
Can you hold this up to the camera so I can just verify how small this guy is?
Yep. I will. I'll take him out of the baggie too. We'll see if that helps. Yeah.
Awesome. So sprue is definitely more plastic than grow. So hands holding are separate, cup separate. That is
Yep.
small. Remember, Jace has child-size hands as well. So
Yes, I
yeah.
have small
Just
fingers.
just for scale, So in adult size,
Yeah.
that would be even smaller. So there's that. Wow. Okay. Well, fair enough. Congratulations on your special limited edition Grogu that you have. And now you have what, three
Yeah.
Grogus?
Yeah. Now there's three of them for two base. I've got three Grogu sitting here for two bases, so I'm gonna figure out what I'm going to do. I honestly might just put one on the Mandalorian's base, just because
Right.
that looks kind of cool having one sitting with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But
they missed the
uh,
boat with it not being in a cradle. And Ryan wants to point out that you hope you just realized you lost $60. Ryan, we buy all the models. Uh, and I will tell you, this is a verifiable fact. We buy all the models, even the ones that aren't that good, and that's why I own 3 eWebs. So just pointing that
yeah,
out. So yeah.
we even buy the
Um,
crappy ones like eWebs.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. All right. Well, that's Grogu. That's 48 minutes for us in the books because we're fantastic and moved through that all quickly, even though it was a lot of stuff to
Yeah,
cover.
and
Oh,
that's
sorry.
that's
What
your
else you got?
size of a
Oh,
that's your
fair
size of
enough.
a Grogu on a base. So yeah,
Nice.
let's have
Nice.
fun with how small that
I feel like he's only going to take me 4 nights to paint, so I will move
is.
through him expeditiously. So, yeah. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna move into our second edition of Make It Better. This is the Ladies' Night edition. So Ben from Dice Time,
Ooh.
he's definitely looking forward to this episode. Speaking of Dice Time, we want to thank a couple more sponsors here. Dice Time, our affiliated podcast, for help with prizes, of course, with the Alt Arch, which is fantastic. They also make good content, so you guys can go give them a listen on the podcast platforms as well as episodes on the YouTube channel. So you guys can go there. It's not video, it's audio, but you guys can go there and check that out. And lo and behold, here we do have Phoenix Games from Australia. Brian hanging out in chat. Helping us out, obviously, with our Christmas special, but in addition to just being a cool guy and hanging out and helping us on the social medias and casting and all those good things. Bryant, you're welcome back at Friday Night Fights. We miss you. Need that Australian accent in here.
Oh yeah.
Give Bryant's website a check out, Phoenix Games in Australia. Okay, here we go. So, episode 144, episode 2, or segment 2 of Make It Better. Ben, you're welcome for all the time invested in the Ladies' Night graphic here. Ben with his 11 act, 798 point list. I'm going to tell you right now, I make a living out of making Ben's list give me aneurysms, both in format and in play. So it's a pastime of mine watching Ben play. If you want to see me very animated and freaking out a lot, you could just video record me watching any of Ben's games. Literally had me on the edge of the seat in Invader League. So shout outs to, our Yavin based team league, I should say. So shout out to Ben for
Yep.
that. It's entertaining to say the least. Ben is a good player. He just plays different than me. So don't hear that he's not good. Don't hear that he doesn't know what he's doing. I just don't know what Ben's doing. And so that's how I explain that. So Ronan pointing out that he's been playing this for a very long time. Absolutely. Half the fun of my games is playing and listening to how much Shawn goes nuts. That's 100% correct. Absolutely, Ben. That's why this is going to be such a fun segment. All right, let's get into the list here. Oh, you know what? I think I forgot all of your upgrades on Jin. Now that I'm just looking at this, because I had to build Jin out this morning, and I think I just blanketly left out that. So let me cover that off, because I do not believe he's running Jin naked. No, he has duck and cover and the config on there. So my bad on that. I built Jin this morning and forgot to put the upgrades. So there's 2 more upgrades.
Oh.
The points are right. The activations are right. So he's running Leia. He's running Jin. He's running Sabine. Hence the Ladies' Night. He has 2 Rebel Troopers with the DLT-20A, which for some reason floated over to the right-hand side. He has 2 Astromech Rebel Troopers, so mech for the heal in there. Obviously, what are those used for? Well, it's for the 2 rotary cannons there at the bottom in the form of the ATRTs, and then he's running 2 strike teams. So Ben is running really, I would say, balanced units in the sense that there's no real over costed unit here. There's no like obvious pick if you're trying to go for the MOV shift and you're like, all right, I'm gonna kill Jin. Jin's obviously costed correctly at 92, but you're like, I'm gonna kill Jin and I can sit back. Well, 90 points can be traded from a unit on the other side with a few upgrades and a heavy. So then you're kind
That's
of
a
back
dewback. You kill a dewback. There
exactly. Exactly. So, so there is a lot of balance here in the list. So I do like that. I think he's got a good smattering of units here in terms of range support. He's got a couple range 4s here. for sure. He's got a good solid foundation for objectives at 11 activations, 798. Might win some bids. Likely going to be playing red a few times as well. The ATRT's interesting fire platforms here, but I do like them for a couple reasons. They're good for the blocking, and they can be good flanking units. And when we get into the command cards, objectives and deployments and conditions, I'll talk a little bit more about the RTs and maybe how they can be used. Obviously, his go-to heavy hitter here is Sabine, but he's got a fantastic support unit in Leia. Jin's in there for a smattering. People might say here, and when we get into the command cards, he's got some choices to make there, and that's obvious, but that is no different than taking multiple commanders or named characters in any list. So I will say this, he's got Ladies Night covered off as a theme for sure. But Jace, what do you think about the unit selection?
I mean, it looks like a rebel list. It looks like you've got a hodgepodge of everything. You got a Mandalorian, you got Leia, you got Sabine, you got your rebel troopers, you got strike teams, which most rebels take because they are probably the second best strike team in the game right now, just behind Empire with their new low profile change. Love it. Super tough to kill. And of course, ATRTs have been a staple in a lot of rebel lists just ever since they came out, especially with that rotary cannon, just the surge crit.
Yep. I think I think for the unit choices too, I was going to say he's got two commanders and an operative in here, two support, two special forces, and four trooper units. I like the balance there, and to me, at first blush, you're likely trying to get Sabine orders as much as possible here, or you're getting as much out of the bag where Sabine becomes a kind of an automatic pull maybe. But I think I'm probably leaning towards the first statement there, that you want to control Sabine as much as possible with the combat shield situation and the dark saber. I like that a lot. So I don't mind the balance here. He's kind of got neutral pulls in almost everything, even his commanders, to be honest, because both are kind of buffy. In not Buffy, the Vampire Slayer, but Buffy in the form that they can really help out a smattering of units. So whether you need to get them dodge tokens or move them along or help them out with the inspiration of removing suppression, that sort of thing. So he has two sort of neutral pulls in the commander. One definitely fixed point in Sabine, and then I think he's neutral in the rest of the pulls. Pull an R5 rebel. Let's get a heal going here. I pulled a sniper. Let me do a pot shot here. So I pulled a DLT 20. That might be a little bit. That might be a bit better than a pot shot. Those DLT 20s in those units are quite good. So I do like that a lot. So. Anything here, Jace, that stands out to you immediately within? Obviously, we don't change the lists entirely, so we're not going to suggest to remove large chunks of this. But is there anything else here that stands out to you? Do you like the rotaries on the ATRTs? Do you think you could go cannons and maybe buff out the rebel troopers a bit more here? Go a little cheaper and go the laser cannon, and then maybe even add the extra trooper or maybe a situational and a trooper on each of the rebel troopers.
I think you definitely could. And I think it also helps deal with one of your biggest weaknesses that I see with this list is just, armor's become such a big thing right now. Even things that have numerical armor, like spider droids, heavy cover, getting rid of 5 hits, right? You've got impact 1 on your 2 DLTs, and then you're basically going off of surge crit from your characters and your rotaries.
Yep.
Laser cannons would just give you, if someone plops down a big healthy AAT with all the repair droids, or they plop down an 11 health ATST, it just gives you, okay, I'm just going to line these 2 guys up, take 2 shots, and with an aim, you should be hitting all of it. That should be, that's 5 or 6 wounds you're probably putting onto an ATST.
The reason I like the laser cannons is because, again, I talk a little bit about this with vehicles, is the range band that you play at. So you got DLTs hitting from the range 4, then can move into range 3 and feel pretty good. But you can obviously do heavy cover, hide a few guys, and keep them protected. Your rotary cannons here have to live at range 3, which means you're going to be eating the largest dice pools, even in those crit conversions or the critical conversion units. With the laser cannon, you can sit outside of a range band, you can sit outside of 5, take a move in, and then hit at range 4. And I think in terms of having your strike teams, your DLTs, and the RTs with laser cannons, that gives you a nice range 4 threat, and it doesn't put your RTs in the most difficult range band to stay alive in. Yes, you do have the R5 mechs for the heal, but I'd much rather have the range 4 poke and heal that than take big splash pools into my RTs, which can
Yep.
cripple or damage them beyond repair. So that's just kind of mine. It does save you some points. What is that? What's that rotary versus laser cannon come down? They're half the price of the rotary. I think they're 10 points lasers.
Yeah, something like that. I'm pulling it up right now.
If that is the case, then I think you actually could go extra trooper and
Yep.
situational. Actually, could you go situational and prepared supplies on your DLT 20s as well? I like the prepared supplies with the nimble because it's really nice. Get a dodge, maybe get a dodge from take cover, pull your prepared supplies for another turn, really keep that unit alive, have the extra body, and when you're hitting at range 3, you got that extra punch. So I think the math works out on that. Prepared supplies, I think, is what, 4 points or
I will let
5
you
points?
know in a second. I'm just building it out and seeing if that
Jace will
works.
do the
In
quick
it.
clicks. I think the rotary goes to
Yeah,
10. So
it does. It does go to 10.
yeah.
Okay,
You
cover.
definitely could do that. There's some double vigilance chatter as well. I think you're
Yep.
saving 20 points. So what's the situational and the prepared supplies come out to? 7?
Should be 7. Yeah.
Is it 7 points? Okay, so there's
I
14, and you got 6 points left. So you could definitely add the vigilance on Jin as well, and actually give yourself a little bit more of a bid if you wanted to do that. So I think that might put you in and around at the 796 mark if you wanted to go that route. Just as some options. So
yeah.
yep.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
again, we're not going to suggest everything. There's lots of things, and obviously we have all kinds of different play styles. But to me, Ben, immediately I might just look at the laser cannon. I like Travis's suggestion of getting that double vigilance. I do like the prepared supply situational awareness on the troopers, because if you're going to have a nimble dodge up and you can just take a crit off the board every single time, that feels really, really good, and keeps your DLT 20 maybe alive a little bit longer, if not a lot longer, with the ability to stack dodges. So, okay, we're not done with you, Ben, though. We've still got some good ideas, but we can probably give you some better. Let's slide over and have a look. And I redesigned these screens, so let me know what you guys think about that. Of course, have to get the Ladies Night logo on there as well. So here's his cards, Jace. He's got Explosions Coordinated, Symbol of Rebellion, Complete the Mission, Legacy of Mandalore, and No Time for Sorrow. So obviously, as predicted, going in here a little bit more heavy on the Sabine cards. That's his linchpin in the list. Let's keep Sabine alive, and let's make sure Sabine gets orders. Coordinated, Complete the Mission, and No Time for Leia, and only one Jin card in here. So immediate blush, what do you think? Do you think you go all in on Sabine here? Is that your play?
I think you do. I think I like most of. I like Sabine's cards. Sabine's cards work very well. Um, there are some interesting non-choices, but I mean,
Okay.
it's pretty
Go.
tough when you've got 3 characters like this,
Yeah.
right?
What do you think? What do you think are the interesting non-choices?
I'm just looking for the card. Jin's 2-pip, the teamwork card.
Okay.
Um, I've always found that to be a very good card. But you're definitely taking no time for the extra movement. It looks like, probably because you can give it to Jin and Sabine and just push them that much farther forward. And as we said, you're trying to go all in on Sabine. So you want Symbol of Rebellion.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind most of the choices here either. I like the no time play as well. I think that this could actually be used to maybe you kept some of the Rebel DLTs a little bit safer. You could do a little bit of a shift up and get them into that range band so that you could do, an aim shot, hit real hard, or you could push them up, take the range 3 shot, and then move back into safety when you activate them as well. So I kind of like that little, almost like a little bit of a pseudo peekaboo play here. And again, with those dodge tokens up, they can be good, especially if you have that prepared supply on available to you. So, any thought here, Jace? I know Symbol of Rebellion is a card that obviously gets Sabine in order here, but what do you think about turning the tide in here?
Turning the tide would be good, but I would still prefer,
The
even over
Jins,
the Symbol of Rebellion in there, is trust goes both ways.
right?
You get because Jin also gets Inspire 2 off that card. So while you don't get Inspire 2 twice, you
Yep,
still get Inspire 2, and then you
yep,
also get Teamwork, so you can hand off a bunch of tokens. Um,
yep. Um, Pointing out
but
that
again,
Jin likes the recovery here on
oh
Symbol.
yeah,
I agree. Um,
this is the recover card. I forgot. I thought that was the 3-pip. Yeah, no,
it is.
you need Symbol of Rebellion then.
Yeah, I guess there's not a ton in here. So obviously the recover, but Sabine's not recovering a whole bunch of things in here. And if you went the option of having either Jin's Inspire or turning the Tide Inspire, you could potentially be getting Sabine back into like alleviating suppression, which is probably what that's kind of your bailout card here, right? So there is
Yeah,
obviously
it's
a
also used to get the shield back.
true. It does get the shield back, absolutely. If you had Whip on Sabine, Sabine's 2-pip is more valuable. Agree. Travis is
Yeah,
literally just typing kind of what I
agreed.
was talking about. I think if you had a few more recover cards or another recover card, you get more value out of there. If it's just kind of that bailout and you were to add in some multiple suppression, or sorry, in multiple inspire suppression removing mechanics, I think you can maybe get around that a little bit. I think the grappling line in there is like the whip is good on Sabine. I think that actually helps Sabine get out of sticky situations as much as the recover does as well. And if you had both, you got both options. So might be
Which
something
I
to
also
consider in there.
I think with dropping 2 laser cannons, because it's only 5 points, you can probably fit that in there.
You could. You
Because
probably have to have one less prepared supply, but you absolutely could because
yeah,
I
so
think you're running a 4 point bid. So I think if you didn't run that prepared supply, you might be able to get that in. So
yeah, because
yeah,
you're putting the prepared supply on the
DLT
DLT troop.
20s. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you put prepared supplies on both of those, and you put the electro grappling line on, you've still got a 7 point bid at the
Okay,
moment.
well then you want to go situational on both of those as well. If you're going to run prepared supplies on the nimble
You can't go
troopers.
situational on them though unless
Oh,
unless you take the captains.
because you have to take the
Yeah,
captain to get both. That's right. You can only do one or the
yeah,
other. Yeah. I think the prepared supply, I'd still go with that just because having
yeah.
the
Go
extra
with that.
dodges more times than not. Yeah, that's right. You need the captain to run that both. Don't have the points for that, Ben. But I think if you're all
Yep.
in on Sabine, you're going to go all our cards. I think the grappling line will end up being good tool for you to have in there, just consideration. So yep, absolutely like that. So I love No Time for sure. Coordinated bombardment just seems to
Yep.
fit with the range that Ben's trying to produce in here, with an early range 4 poke from multiple, especially if you had the laser cannons in there, and then you got coordinated bombardment for additional. You could be putting out quite a bit of range 4 plus suppression early on with this. So, or late if you wanted to as well. If you were kind of trying to
Yeah.
hit units that are running or trying to get to safety, you needed that sort of that easy kill or that potential easy kill. Leia's fantastic at picking up bodies off the table. So, yep,
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think I hate any of these. So, and again, tough choices here for Ben because he is having a look at multiple command cards. You can't get everything that you want all the time, but he's got a pretty good choice here. I don't mind really any of these. I think if you're going to go with symbol, my suggestion would be probably try to find the points for the whip. If you're not, I maybe just go one of those suppression mitigation mechanics in either turning the tide or trust goes both ways. So I kind of like the turning the tide just
Yep.
because you get multiple sources of inspire and you get them at different time intervals as well. And because you can issue them to the RTs, you can almost pick when they go. And if you needed to go back to back, you could potentially pull 4 off a Sabine or similar character quite quickly. So that might be it's nice to have that mechanic, and you still have Leia in there as well for that. So does Jin have inspire as well? Just
Natively? No,
natively. No, okay, yeah, it's
not
just
natively.
Leia. Eh?
She
Yeah,
she just gets it on the 2 pip.
just on the 2-pip. Yeah, yeah. You still
Yeah,
got nice amount of inspire support in this, so do like
yeah.
that.
So
Okay, go ahead.
I
Sorry.
will. So by dropping those rotaries down to
Rotaries.
laser cannons, you
Hmm.
can fit vigilance on Jin for the double
Yep,
vigilance.
like that.
Fit in the grappling line
Yep, like
and
that.
prepared supply. Yep, prepared supplies on both DLT troopers.
Yep.
and you're at the exact same points with the 2 point bid
with the
because you
2 point bid.
drop.
Okay.
Yeah, because you drop 20 points, 10 points for each cannon, and you
Yep.
added 4 5 point upgrades.
Don't mind that. Don't mind that at all. Yeah, you could definitely do that. I like all of that. So yeah, so just some considerations there, Ben. Um, also drop one of the R5s, even though that's not a ton of points back. If you wanted to go to the 7 point bid, you could, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that would take you to a 10 point bid actually.
Oh,
Dropping
10,
an
yeah, right,
R5.
because they're 8 points, right?
They're 8. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's an option for sure. If you want to go a bigger bid, you could do that too. So I like. I'll tell you why, Ben. I like the two Astromechs because you have a few options in here that you can get rid of those damage tokens, which can be quite crippling to your
Yeah.
RTs if they end up not being able to do any repositions or movement when it's key. And we'll get into kind of the missions you picked and see if that actually is going to be significant or not. So R5, I like the insurance. There we go. Travis and I speak the same language about some of these points. All right, here's what he has for the objectives, Jace. Key positions, recover, intercept, and sabotage. And I'll tell you immediately right now, you want to have that movement on those RTs, especially late game. If you're playing key positions and you can have them jump on top or displace or move people off key positions, or I should say block them from, I think you want to have the ability to make sure that you get those two actions with those RTs. So for that reason, I think I just keep them in. I liked where you were at. You liked where you were at with 798. I don't think you need to go and start cutting too deep to get there. And key P is going to be in probably more decks than not. A lot of the times seems to be a pretty stock standard mission. And so if you're okay with doing that as red, I think you want to have those actions on those RTs. What do you feel about recover, intercept, and sabotage, Jace? Or in key positions for that matter.
I like key positions because you let the RT score if needed to, and especially if you turn them into lasers, they're another good back capper if you need.
Yep.
Recover is always good when you got Sabine because just she's so fast, and
Yep.
you do have the dark saber in here, so you are. I believe
Dauntless.
it gives her immune.
And
Yeah, you have Dauntless.
Yeah.
It gives her Dauntless and it gives her immune pierce for melee, so you can't just get hit in by a force user. So yeah, I like recover for fast units like that, especially that can carry a lightsaber is really good. Intercept I think is the most interesting one in here. I mean Vaps is good because you just get as blue you can just sit back and just shoot over and over again. So you are fine. Like Vaps plays right into what you want to do with the range 4 gun line of this.
Yep.
And then as soon as they do get in, you just send in Sabine, send Jin in.
Yeah. Travis pointing out, and you were pointing at just getting to intercept. So make your point, and then I'll share his.
I was just saying intercept is the interesting choice here.
Yeah. So Travis is pointing out here that he thinks he likes payload better over intercept. I'll tell you right now, Travis, and I just had this conversation basically with both Jake and Canadian Bear that I don't think enough people play enough payload to feel comfortable with payload. And I don't think that people not feeling comfortable with payload is a reason not to take it. I think it's a reason to practice getting good at it because I think that I think people overlook their lists based on how good they could be in payload. I agree with you. Vehicles are big bases are great at payload. And I know a lot of people shy away from that, but big bases are closer to payloads more often than not and get there typically without having to use 2 move actions. When you get in that turn 3 and 4 and they start stretching out in front of your lines, oftentimes it's 2 moves with troopers if you haven't been keeping pace with it. Vehicles get there a heck of a lot quicker and get some pushes in. You also have Sabine, Jin, you got Leia who can push some units up so they can stay out of distance a little bit longer and get that no time for sorrows play, which feels good. You can grappling line if you're going to take that and freeze units, which is really fantastic if they want to go for a push and then you deny them that push. There's that. And anything that can displace or take up real estate in front of other people's payloads or even your own are great. So I agree. I think payload might be something that Ben wants to explore. And I don't know. He's in chat so he can answer. I just don't know if this is a comfort level with payload or just feeling that the list is better at intercept. So don't forget my suicidal Jin drop on the center box. I swear up and down against doing that and still do it. Well, hey, That's a recover issue for you. But let's talk about intercept here for a second. Jake says payload is 4D chess. It absolutely is. It's my favorite
Oh
mission,
yeah.
and there's so much going on. But you have to quickly recognize that if you get good at payload, it's almost like it's like an extra bag in your bag of tricks. Where if you have some experience and practice with it, and it comes up, and you can often tell who's played and who hasn't, who's comfortable, who hasn't, who's got a plan, and who doesn't. But I am a big advocate, big proponent of payload. I think that it's worthwhile exploring payload. Ben saying he's totally comfortable. And oh, it's totally a comfort level, so I'll get payload under my belt. There you go. So I think, Ben, you should try it. And I would just say, hey, if you're going to go to practice and say, hey, let's do randomization for the other things that I have, but can we play payload and just play it over? Jason and I do that all the time. If it's like we don't care about the other things, so we'll randomize them out, but we want to play a particular mission to practice it or to test a list, because oftentimes what happens is either your natural tendency or your opponent's natural tendency will steer you away from difficult situations. In practice is where you want to practice your difficult situations or unideal scenarios so that you can get good at them, because maybe you don't have payload in your deck, but maybe you'll go against the opponent who does. If they got payload in their deck, chances are they're comfortable with it. If you don't have it in your deck, not to say that you're not comfortable with it, but it might be a little bit of a surprise where your opponent's like, wow, I didn't know you were also good at payload. And sometimes when you pick payload against a list that's just as good as yours, if not maybe even better or could be better, and you are experienced, that little bit of extra practice and training could maybe push you over that, where it mitigates any advantage your opponent had based on the level of experience you have. So yeah, that's just my soapbox for payload for sure. Canadian Bear saying he needs to see payload. Jake says everyone in his store immediately bans it. So I'm not wrong. I'm not speaking completely out of the wrong hole here. I'm speaking some truth. So, but yeah, I think put it in there, practice it. I don't care. I don't hate any of the choices you made here. I like them all. Intercept though, your RTs aren't doing anything for your intercept, so they're really just shooting. And because my option is to run the lasers, I just don't think you're putting out the damage input. So when you're trying to, like, if you put two rotaries and say, I'm going to guard the center intercept, I'm going to shoot until I'm dead, the rotaries make sense, and you intercept, you could cause some problems. But because you're probably going to go lasers, I don't think you have enough damage output with them. So I would want them doing something in this mission, and pushing a payload sounds like a good idea for them. So yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, fair enough. Everybody's got like a horror story from payload, and here I am trying to advocate for it strongly. So um, payload is either ships passing in the night trying to pick each other off, or 4D chest. Absolutely. I say it's ships passing in the night or toilet bowl. That's how I describe payload for sure. So yeah, that's our suggestions on that. So all right, Jace, let's get through these last couple things. We've got to get a little bit of roundtable, and of course deployments that Ben has chosen. Now let's go on the notion that Ben is with intercept still, because I know we just talked about payload. Not to confuse people, he doesn't have it in there. This may alter that choice, but I don't want to go too far down the payload rabbit hole, because obviously Ben has built this list for the missions that he has picked. So he's got intercept, recover, VAPS, and KP. Obviously, Ben is going for max amount of distortion and make it crazy from the hop. So let's go disarray, hemmed in, advanced, and danger close. All of this sounds to be completely up Ben's alley. I will tell you, in most of the lists I play, I have precisely one of these in my deck. Yeah,
Yep.
one.
I agree with you.
Guess which one I have in my deck?
The same one as I have.
Okay. Travis, I'm banning all of those. Yeah, you see, this is the chaos theory that is Ben's creative mind here. So, all right, well, based on what he has, they make sense. Sabine's getting to the middle rapidly in all of these. The only thing that slightly concerns me is how far from the middle in some missions the rest of his army might need to position to be safe. Let's assume that he's going to be blue in most of these scenarios, just because we're playing his deck. I don't think he minds hemmed in as much because I think he confront with a Sabine, but I'm a little concerned that he might get squeezed out and get a lot of his soft bellies at danger range pretty quick with that.
Yeah.
So the whole build being range 4 and then playing hemmed in to me is a little scary. Um, but but I can see why he wants to do that based on the fact that he's got a lot of center or mid center center line objectives. Travis saying the only one he's not a fan of there is Disarray. I think Disarray, to be honest, Travis, based on the fact he's got multiple characters, or if he wants to just dump one sniper unit off into a corner, I think he can strong side deploy. And so if he's going to play intercept where he's just got to bully 2 points, KP where he's got to go to the middle and a point along the way, Vaps, I think he could strong side deploy and be okay with this array. In my opinion, I'm not sure how Ben particularly plays it. Advanced positions, I think it's okay. He gets range out of the back. I think he should deploy probably along the back with most of his stuff. Danger close feels a little bit. If I'm going to take advanced positions, I think he's probably taking danger close because they feel a lot the same. If his comfort level is high with advanced, I can see why he plays danger close. I just don't like playing either one of those because I feel like it gets other people to the middle faster than I would like them to get there. I'm much more of like slow roll to the middle than be there. But Ben's obviously the opposite. So thoughts there, Jace?
Yeah, yeah, it's some interesting deployments for the list. Um, Especially now that, we've changed a few pieces of it to do a lot more range 4, and a
Mm-hmm.
lot of these are a lot of these are like the most close deployment zones you can get.
Yeah.
Um, I personally don't like hemmed in just because I absolutely hate that deployment as blue.
Yeah.
Like I can never do well on that deployment as blue.
Right.
So I just refuse to take it anymore. I've stopped trying. There was a long time I took it in every deck because I was like, I'm trying to get good at this deployment. Nope, not happening. I've given up.
So just walk with me here for a second in terms of long march. Um, Based on the fact that he's got an intercept point, which one's basically going to be in your deployment zone, then one in the middle. Key positions, you can still put a point along the way to the middle. Um, Vaps, he can have them equidistant from his own deployment zone and likely behind a piece of cover because going short edge to short edge, typically you can find a piece of terrain that it can just go beside, which gives you full cover from your opponent. And what was his other one? He had Vaps. Oh, recover. Recover, I think you are still doing okay. I think with the range that he has in the list and the ability to sort of manage that range bubble, I don't hate Long March in here. So
No, I really don't either.
if you put in Long March, you need to put in RO.
Rollout.
Oh, rollout?
Yeah.
I don't hate. Well, I'll tell you right now, I don't hate short table deployments. So I don't think you're wrong there, Ryan. I think, but this is again my style versus Ben's. I would much rather slow roll my army to the middle and end up there at turn 6. Ben wants to be in the middle on turn 0. So and then run away and get to safety. So I feel like this fits his style, and I think he's better off playing something of comfort and experience than trying everything new. I think if you want to get more well-rounded, trying a few things to press that comfort level would be the best advice we could give here. So, yeah, Shawn, the king of uninteractive games. Okay, okay, yeah, that happens. I mean, I've played a number of these people on here. There is action. I just like to control it. So that's just kind of that is my style. So that's yeah. If that's uninteractive, I guess that's how it is. So. And I'm going to take an entirely different list for season 2. So, but yeah, fair enough. I will own that. only because I believe it is a style. So Ben is the opposite of that. I will tell you that right now. So all right, last but not least, let's have a look at his conditions. He has supply drop, clear conditions, rapid, and fortified. Clear makes sense. No limited visibility makes sense. Supply drop, get all the extra things. Rebels love supply drop.
Rebels
they have
do
the
really.
they have the activations. Um, that is yeah. See, look at these people calling this stuff out. There was interactive. So pull up the T series shot again. We need that again. Oh my goodness, always with the T series shot. All right. I'll see if I can find it. You guys win. I'm not sure. This feels good. It felt like an okay shot to me. Here it is, just for you, Striker. Boom, right there. Let me shrink that down for a second. There it is, right through the hole in the ladder. There's a silhouette there. That was interactive. That was just happened to be from my deployment zone. All right, moving along. Rapid reinforcements. What do you think about rapid reinforcements here? What are you dropping in?
Oh, that is tough.
I guess I
I
should say what's the alternative here to grabbing that? Um,
Yeah, let's see. So he has clear,
yep.
he has supply drop, and what's the other one? He had fortified.
Yeah, I think he's staying away from anything that has to do with suppression here. Obviously, these characters
Yes.
want to be suppression free as much as possible.
Yeah.
You don't need a Sabine having to deal with hostile environment where she's got to hug terrain, even though she might want to. She doesn't want to have to do it out of necessity, and that turn that she wants to maybe make that strike, you definitely want to, and you might want to have her in the open. I don't think there's a lot
Limited.
more. Yeah, I don't think he wants
No.
limited bit with so many
Nope.
range four options here.
You
So
really don't. So
yeah,
your only other option is minefield.
yeah. So Travis's get man. Me and Travis same wavelength. Me and Travis on. I
Yeah.
think that's because that time I spent in Dallas. I think we've connected. Or maybe it was the hug by Drew. I'm not sure, but whatever. He's speaking my language because I think that the rapid reinforcements is going to potentially have more opponents selecting that, and I don't know what that gives Ben significantly for that. So I just would rather put in something that I would be a null advantage. And even if it's not something great for me, than anything past that. But what is that option going to be? What about minefield? And I know that feels bad because you don't want to have rebels taking wounds, but minefield kind of feels okay when you have the number of dodge tokens that you have. And because you can kind of like take dodges and get dodges fairly consistently. And did you go the situational awareness on the troopers? Is that
No,
what the
because you
route we
need to
went,
take
or we went to prepared supplies? Oh yeah, because you can't do
the
it's one or
because
the other.
you have to take the
Yeah,
captain. Yeah.
yeah. So
You have to take the captain for another like 16 points.
yeah, I don't know because you're already going with the minefield with Sabine, so maybe you might want to be okay with the extra mines. I'm not really sure. I just don't want to give because here's the thing: you end up against somebody who's got, let's say, Magna Guard, for example, or Wookiees. Like, do you really want to have Wookiees or Magna
Yeah.
Guard springing up close to this rebel gun line? No. The answer is no. You don't even need to look it
You
up.
really don't.
It's no. So because of that, Travis pointing at where War Weary could be good. Leia, yeah, I mean, it could be for sure. I just think that because you're trying to spend suppression mitigation mechanics in this, maybe you don't want to add them. But I think maybe minefield is maybe where you go. And here's another reason why I like minefield more often than not. When I put minefield out there, if my opponent doesn't like it as much as I do, there's a good chance that they may actually spend one of their bands getting rid of it, and that might actually help me out somewhere else. And if I'm blue and they're canceling even one of their early ones, I can know from that ban whether they're going to want how deep they can go on another row, which to me, Ben's rows are objectives and deployments. And if Ben wants to almost force minefield to potentially come up because he loves what's in the first couple slots, he can cancel the first condition to get to minefield and then force his opponent potentially have to cancel that minefield. And then Ben's got one more decision to make, but you're really forcing your opponent to use one of the bands, and you can kind of figure out, okay, maybe they're also good with those, or maybe they're just going to go second row in either one of these and use that as almost an information gathering piece. So, yeah. So I think he may be okay with that. But
Yeah,
War Weary
definitely.
might be a selection as well. So yeah. Sometimes droids like War Weary too. So I'm just thinking Minefield is they don't really care about that either. But maybe Minefield's my choice here. That's my recommendation. So
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, well, hopefully we've given Ben some ideas, covered that off. So we sort of suggested one in the conditions to change. Nothing really significant here unless Ben wants to change the entire approach. Otherwise, I think they work for him. Here we talked about maybe putting in payload and getting good with that, or at least practicing and getting good with it in case he ends up in it. We talked about the command cards being a tough choice, but maybe he's made all the right ones here, with the exception of maybe 1 2-pip that he might want to mess around with. But if he changes the configuration of the army list, which we talked about, I think he's made the right choice on the command cards. Talked a little bit about reconfiguration of the Rebel Troopers. If he wants to maintain the bid, he can go a bit bigger if he wants to, but I think the double astromech is good. So let us know if you guys enjoyed us breaking down another list. I mean, we reserve the right to be wrong on every single thing that we said. We hope that we're right on something, and we hope that we've given Ben at least one thing to try before he leaves here tonight. So let us know about that. If you guys like us doing these segments, we'll continue to break them down. If you want to send us a list, feel free. Like I said, we will give you our insights, and they may be completely wrong. But at least that'll be information that you'll have, and you won't make any of those considerations, and you'll just skip over all the garbage advice we gave. So, all right. Well, this segment here has been brought to you by the Terrain Studio. Like I said, if you want to help us out, supporting us in any way, we appreciate that. The Terrain Studio 2019 at gmail.com puts on all the content that you see here and Friday nights and the league and all that good fun stuff. We also want to thank Gamers Grass as well. I've reached out to all the folks that help us out in studio, so hopefully we'll get some additional stuff for giveaways. But if we don't, I will give you guys some Gamers Grass anyways, because they are very generous to me in studio. They give it to me for the studio work, but I like to turn around and give it to you guys as well. And so we'll make sure that we got at least a couple prizes from them and represent that on the tabletop. If you guys are ready, we are ready for the round. Hey, we're back at the round table, episode 144. Jace, what are the topics for tonight? And we'll probably go, holy, we're at a 129 already. Oh, we'll rip it for about 15 or 20 minutes. You got that in are you okay with that, Jace?
Yeah, you bet 9:30,
Cool.
but then I can go do some homework.
Yeah, homework. See, we'll get you in bed and get that all that.
Yeah, I get
milk,
to go
milk
calculate some capital dividends account generate. No, let's talk more about this.
Fair enough. I was doing that right before the episode, actually. So.
Yep. There you go. Sean's all about those capital dividend accounts.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Can't get enough of them.
All right. So your topics for tonight. I'm going to Worlds. Are you going to Worlds? And if you are, what are you taking? And first, if you are going, also I'm impressed you got your sign in the 4-day window. Of course, league predictions for season 2 as well as for this final. Again, It is Iden Double Bounty versus Vader IRG. Give us your predictions. You're placing a bounty for, bounties. We all like bounties. There's lots of cool new bounty hunters that came out. Who would you like to put a bounty on and what for?
Yeah, just make it up. Doesn't even matter.
Oh, yeah. And we made this one just for Ryan. Ryan, what grinds your gears?
Yep, and feel free to call in and just tell you that Ryan grinds your gears, and that's an acceptable answer to that one as well. All right, we'll open up the phone lines for call-ins. We'll get 2 people on screen. We can put 3 people in the queue. I will let you know when we're full, and I will reserve the right to boot people out, which we will, so that we can get more folks in. And oops, I hit the button twice and it didn't work. And there we go. It's in there. There you go. You can call in whenever you're ready. So those capital accounts pay for the demoralized bikes. That is you're not wrong. You are not wrong. So oh, look who it is. It's Ryan. Let's get Ryan in here. All right. Somebody quickly come in here and counterbalance Ryan. We need you. Here we go. 48th Ronin coming in. Speaking of counterbalance, this will work. Perfect. All right, we'll get these 2 folks in, and then we'll get some more callers in. So let me boot these guys out before you guys call in here. Everyone's getting their popcorn and ready to crunch on this. Let me get Frank in here. Boom. Let me remove him from the.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ryan. You can
While
start.
you do that, okay. So I am going to Worlds, despite what people think. I got my invite November 2019 at a Grand Championship after going 4-1 and losing to the world-renowned Eric Reha.
Oh, excellent! I didn't know you played Armada.
Nice. Funny. I'm glad that Ronan and I are on because, like, we can start our podcast tonight.
It's not happening tonight. I reserve the right to just boot you guys out at
Ronan's
any
painting
moment.
Shawn stuff.
Yep.
But what grinds my gears is people talking up Den, and I'm on the other half that Ronan is, and we'll try to keep this civil, but I'm sure I'm assuming based off of the conversation that we had in chat in the Discord, he's playing Rebels with Den, which I understand, and I'm all for that because that means as an Imperial player I don't have to deal with Luke, Sabine, or R2, which I'm 100% for. As an Imperial player, I don't know why you'd be wasting your time taking Den at all. When you got
all three of those wrapped up
many
in
better
one.
bounty hunters. What?
Is all three of those wrapped up in one? You get your secret mission as a bounty, right? You get your extra VP you can get from him. He hits just as hard as the Jedi, and he's just as fast as Sabine.
The problem is that I have
And
with
his
him is
whistling
that
birds
he
are like
does.
a freaking bomb going off. So
Yeah, but he doesn't have sharpshooter. That's the one problem.
Oh,
is he's not.
the one
He's
keyword he
not
doesn't
gonna
have.
be put. He's not gonna be pumping a ton of damage through. That's the other problem. Like, he doesn't have built-in Pierce. Like, as an Imperial player, I'm not touching him because I got Boba, IG-88, or Bosk.
Listen,
But he's
I'm bringing
tactical, he
bringing
gets-
Travis in
he
as
gets
a balancer here. Just
Yeah,
FYI,
there we
guys. Yeah, go ahead. Keep going.
Doesn't he
Yeah,
have
go ahead.
lethal and he's got tactical and at one point in time does his spear give him Pierce? No, it's lethal. But
But you gotta pay for that, though.
No, it's duelist. It gives him duelist, so he gets
Duelist,
pierced if
right.
he spends.
So
if he
with
spends an aim.
tactical and independent aim, with lethal with his knife, and then duelist with his spear. Granted, am I not wrong?
Yeah.
You get Pierce 2 if you use the aims right.
You only get Pierce 1.
You can
can't-
get
you
pierced
can't
too,
have
but
both
you have to have.
have
If
to
you
have
spend
two
an
aim.
aim to re-roll, then you can spend the second, which gives you pierce from duelist. Then you can spend the second aim on lethal.
Aim
and
to
pierce
get you
too.
lethal with using your Arsenal 2 on your knife.
Yeah.
The vibroblade. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
doing that you could, but I mean you're paying for everything now. If you're like
no,
shooting,
you're not. It's independent.
You're paying for
aim,
the spear.
tactical.
That's it.
Yeah, but at the same
You know,
like,
that's
is he
free.
going to get that independent off if you're gonna run into melee though? That's the thing.
Yes.
Yeah, you run into
Are
melee.
you?
That's what Mando does. And you bring Grogu
Of
around
course you are.
as your safe assurance.
Oh, whoa. We're
I'm
getting
not
the
really.
Yeah.
seeing
You,
now,
lost me at
bringing up
Grogu there, Frank. Let's just
Yeah,
calm
it's
down
like,
with the Grogu.
like if you're bringing Grogu in, I'm licking my chops
Yes.
because now all I have to do is kill that frog, and
All
now
right,
you're playing the objective and trying to deny me taking Grogu.
All right. let
And
me
if it
explain
comes
Grogu.
late in the game,
All right,
you can't do both.
before you go, Frank, let's Travis weigh in the balance so
All
we
right.
can just upset this apple cart entirely and send Ryan into just a tivy. So I want to hear it.
Yeah, so I mean, I've played against two Dens now. One was more of a gunslinging shoot, from the jetpack, and the other one was he had the handband rifle. The other one was with the spear. I'd say the most effective Den I've seen was him getting into melee, just simply because that relentless card gets him in there. He can punch. Then the next one where he can take two shots with his versatile gun. He can make an attack in melee, then make an attack out of melee. And with the spear also, the independent dodge, I mean, he's not going to die from a lightsaber because he's got duelist. And so he's immune pierce now with red surging saves. So he's tough. I mean, when I took him down, he dove too early with bad order control, and I just withdrew and lit him up. And then the other one that was more of a gunslinger, didn't do much, but I think getting him in melee and punishing people and just sticking there, maybe tying up objectives, is kind of where he wants to be.
And here's a
What
couple
armies
things
were
with
you
that.
playing
Hold on.
against?
Rebel and Empire.
And which one
So good one,
was
bad
the
one.
melee?
The Rebel one was the melee.
Okay, and that makes more sense to where the Imperial one would want to be more shooty.
Oh, so you're saying Din? Okay, I get. Yeah, okay, yeah. I think Din and Empire is maybe more shooty. But here's what you can do with Din, which is really important. I always put up close and personal on him. So if you were in melee and you needed an extra dodge, you can actually versatile out your gun, shoot at range 1 to 2, get it also another dodge in melee. And let's say you're tangled up with a Jedi, so you can do that. The beauty of what I've seen now, I've been proxying Din since it's all kind of been released, even before all of his command cards. And I wasn't first on Grogu. But what I've noticed with Din and the way I play him, now everybody might play him differently, but either he's pretty much killed everything around him by the time Grogu goes down, or you play him as shooty and Grogu's never really around your enemy forces anyways. And the card does not say that your team can't pick Grogu up. It's just saying that if your other team picks Grogu up, they get a point. Now, what I've noticed is Grogu, typically at that point that Din goes down, with all the defense he has and being a Mandalorian and everything, Grogu's usually not in a very predicament area. And there's other times where I've wiped out full units with Din in melee, and he's been stuck in like an open situation that I didn't like, that Grogu could help out with a deflect and more dodges as well. That's just been my experience with him. But I've been happy with Grogu, more so than I have been with IG. But we'll get in that later.
Which IG?
11. I play Rebels.
Oh yeah, that's because IG 11 is absolutely terrible.
Oh, geez,
Well,
there's a
the
hot
issue-
take.
Okay.
No,
I don't think
IG
it's
11
terrible.
is
The problem
And
is
the
terrible.
the play exposure and the amount of reps in with IG-11 are enormous worldwide. I'm sure that we should make
Yeah.
all the judgments right now.
I didn't like him in my list because I was using mostly Mando cards, and when Mando wants all the orders, IG was stuck with AI all the time, and it kind of hurt him a little bit. But I will be playing that list with Boba in the future, which the Boba will get the standby and everything, which is going to help him out a lot more. Only reason why I didn't like IG in my list. IG is very good. It's just I didn't like him in mine just because of the AI problems I had with him. But
So
yeah,
Ryan,
the one thing I would just counter to
No,
one
go
thing
ahead,
I might
Travis.
just counter to your Grogu take is, I mean, for me, I'm usually taking a lot of 1, 2, 3 victory point missions, and so putting a victory point on someone who wants to be at range 2, going against a Jedi who has jump, I mean, it's like that's a huge risk, and not, kind of almost prevents me from doing what I want to do with Din. But that's just me and my play style. So
most of my armies though are like full on. I'm hitting you in melee, everybody. So I usually I'm not having Mando by himself out there in the middle. I'm usually having my entire army is going to be within range 1 to 2 of you. That's
So
usually how I
Wookiees.
like to play it. Actually, I don't play Wookiees, but I play Fleet Troopers. I do a lot of Fleet Troopers and that kind of stuff, because if you've got Mando or 2 big heavy hitters like that going down the lines and going down fast, I've found that Fleet Troopers can usually make it to where they need to be, especially because I put the 5th Trooper in there. Actually, I put the Imperial Officer in there. I kind of actually play them a little like Pikes, or not Pike, Black Sun. I wish I had freaking Black Sun and Rebels, but fleets are kind of play this. Yeah. So I have 2 Pike. I have 2 Pike as well, and they're usually my range 4 guys, and I have a Capel with them. But usually I'm running a 2 huge Fleet Trooper squads too. Yeah.
I do think as the Empire, though, in regards to Din, I don't think you take Din and Empire. You just got better options that just mesh with the army.
Yeah, like Veers.
Like you. Well, yeah, but in regards to like the operative slot, like you got Bosk, who can sit at range 4 the entire game because Empire is consistently a gun line.
Bosk can't put auto wounds down.
True, but you're spending 15 points, and if you don't get that, it's kind of a waste of 15 points.
Whistling
You
Bird,
just wasted 100.
You know what? I like the Whistling Birds in the form of the Black Suns, 13 dice and 12 to 16 rerolls. That's my new Whistling Birds. It only hits 1 target, unfortunately, but feels pretty good about it. So there's
Yeah.
I
mean, also to be fair, the rifle is only 10 points.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, we got 3 people on here. We'll figure out what grinds the gears there. Give us another topic. At least one, you got to pick at least one thing on there that's not the grind my gears one. So, Travis, you go first. What you got? I'm going to Worlds, league predictions, or I'd place a bounty on someone for something.
Yeah, I'm not going to Worlds, so I got in Legion when COVID was around, so that was not even close to an option for me.
Right.
We do have one guy in our community who is, so we're all rooting him on.
Okay, nice.
And as far as I'm placing a bounty for, that's something we kicked off in our local scene, is putting bounties on the top ELO players. So the top 3 we put a bounty on, and so it's only like $5 or something insignificant. So it's more friendly, but still. But yeah, that's our bounty system.
So how does that work? Explain to us. Like, so you top 3 ELO players, they got a bounty on them if you beat them in a game, like a pickup or has to be a tournament or just any game.
Has to be at a tournament, and each of them at the start of the day gets a little bounty puck.
Yep.
And then so they're kind of carrying that around, and if you claim it, you get to take it from them. But then you can't lose the game because then you'll lose the bounty.
Gotcha.
So,
I like it. I like it. Okay, cool. All right, I like that take. I like that take. Okay, Frank, give us another one. By the way. Yeah, I'm also probably going to adapt something like that. I like it.
I'm gonna go off script. I am willing to do.
Man, the rules of the round table. I need to make a drop screen for people. Like,
I would like to point out I started this, so you should be more upset at me.
Jeez. All right, fine.
Ryan, we're already always upset at
It's ladies' night. It's not a free for all here. All right, so just calm down now.
I will. Hey, for your Christmas special, I'll give away 3 dealer's choice. Operative or commander pick. I'll paint it for them. Buy them all. Paint it.
So 3. They got to send you the model, and you will paint.
No.
Oh, you're gonna paint 3 models.
Yep.
Okay. I'm adding it to the list.
Yep.
Okay. Operative or commander.
Operative or commander.
You know what? You should paint up. I hope Ryan wins all 3, and you send him a Din, IG-11, and a Grogu.
Yes.
Oh, and then it's Franker going in. Yeah, me picking Veers. Like honestly, I was
3 Veers. Like, 3 Veers. Awesome. Well, thanks. I appreciate that. You are welcome to go off script. Ryan, you can go, but you cannot go off script. Unless you have a jersey. Ryan. Do you have a jersey? No, can't go off script.
Oh, man. Placing a bounty. Geez, I think I'm placing a bounty on everyone who. On Den, basically. Yeah, all the time on Den. No, I think just whoever I got to play at Worlds. Like, I'm already prepping for it, which, I mean, I've been prepping for it months in advance.
I've been prepping for it since 2019.
Yeah, basically, no. Yeah, I've been prepping for it since 2019. I'm just looking forward to Worlds, trying to hone in. I mean, I got 3 different lists I'm comfortable with, working on one right now. So it's just going to be what I feel the best to give me the opportunity to get that trophy.
Okay. And hey, we'll give you the exclusive interview as promised. Yeah. If you win,
but
Worlds.
Hey, we are bunking together, right?
Sleepovers. That was question to Frank.
All seriousness, I am planning on getting our Airbnb with at least 4 people. So I don't have anybody on the books yet. So whoever wants to do it, I'm cool with it.
2.
I will be going, but I'm not playing Worlds. I'll root you guys on though.
Okay, nice.
Travis,
you said what? 40K?
I could give you my token. I would give you my token.
Better question from Striker. What round will he drop? Oh, deep cuts.
I will drop on the last day as I'm hoisting that trophy, popping bottles of champagne.
I'm voting day 1 after he goes 0-2.
Turn 0, round 1.
There you go.
Take the over and under on that. So,
I do think that it will be easy to prep for Worlds right now since we're not going to have any other releases until August, if we're lucky, of next year. Maybe about the same time the website comes out. So he'll drop the same time as the website's launch.
Wow. Okay. We're not on what grinds my gears again, Ryan, but thanks for that.
I'm just putting it out there.
Okay, I like it.
With another limited edition figure that there's only going to be 5 of in the world.
Yeah, oh, yeah. We got a couple people on here, and I don't have the phone ringing off the hook, so I will put this in case there's a few other people want to call in before we get out of here. But let me ask you this. I'll pose it to collective. What do you guys feel in general about the limited editions? We've had the Luke, the Vader, the Obi, the Grogu. What do you guys feel about those in general? Good, not good.
I'm okay with how the first 3 were done. Like, we all knew Vader was going to be at Celebration. However, that one's, I know, sold out quickly because I know they attached a limited edition Sabine pin, which you don't know that the Star Wars community, especially at Celebration, is huge on pins. Yeah. So I understand why a ton of people bought that. Essence Feel, huge gaming competition, give something to the Europeans to make them feel like, they matter. I'm just going to leave it at that. Luke was nice because that was 100% transparent. They put an article out, explained, hey, every store that buys from us is going to get 3. Mm-hmm. Awesome. The way this was handled, completely miscommunicated by Asmodee, to where stores had no idea, reps weren't communicated enough, and only a select few got them, to where it's either top 100 or 200 stores. And I know it was explained, I think, multiple times by the head of the studio at AMG that it will be for a pre-order that you do through FLGS. However, we know these FLGSs are turning around and selling them. Like, there was one 2 hours away from me that was selling them for $20, which
I will say are
pretty light.
Two locals, the one Jace got his from and the one I've got mine from, absolutely no cost.
Yeah, which
they're doing it right.
Like, I get, like, yeah, it should be for the pre-order. Like, I'm not upset stores are selling them. Like, I'm
well, hey
that.
Jace, what's the bottom of the box say though? What's the bottom of the box say?
Well, 1 second. I gotta grab it.
Let me check mine, Ryan. I got one. Hold on.
Not for retail.
Yeah.
Yeah, not for retail, But, I mean, are these stores going to actually follow that? I mean, there's stores that break street date. And
I mean, it's in size 72 font on the bottom. So, I mean, hopefully they made that pretty clear.
Is that really going to stop them?
I am convinced. I'm convinced the box is this big for that little amount of plastic just so that they could print that on the bottom.
They needed the real estate to put that on there.
My other take on this is...
cares. He doesn't even like Den anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
Accurate.
Well, why? Because I know people are flipping out about it, and if I got my hands on one, I'd probably sell it because it's 6 inches, 6 inches of plastic.
Don't do.
Yeah, fantastic.
Like it's 6 inches of plastic, and everyone's freaking out about it. Like half the community's already 3D printed this stuff, but like. Well, back to the point of like they could have released this a lot better and handled it a lot better. And
my only problem with the Grogu one was that it's almost the exact same pose as the other 2 that you get in the box. I was kind of hoping for like I would love like a I know sprues, like a little bit sprue with the little cradle. Yeah, that would have been a cool limited edition or something like that.
That would have been.
But I mean, him eating a frog or holding a teacup or putting his little hand out. They're all the same. I mean, honestly, if you walked away from the table and you looked at the table, you wouldn't know which it is until you picked it up and saw, oh, hey, he's holding a teacup,
Yeah.
So
and half the people aren't even bringing them in the first place.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I have 3 and won't bring any of them, but I do think the cradle, hey, another excuse to use a flight sprue, because we love those, and then have the cradle Grogu. I think that would have been cool. And then you could have the option of having cradle open, cradle closed, all that good stuff.
If it was a cradle, though, it'd probably be on one of those bent 40K terrible flight stands compared to the good old-fashioned peg we used to have.
I think a peg would have been perfectly fine.
And I'm sure, like, some of those flight stands just in general
I've got 50
are absolutely terrible. Yo, I'll pray for you.
Nice. Awesome. Okay, well that's fantastic. I appreciate Travis you coming on here and just being a little bit of a voice of reason there, since we were vibing on the Rebel connector tonight. So I'm sure that was largely due to the the Denny's food that I consumed down in Dallas. I think it put me on an entirely new planet of understanding here. So
that bantha food there at Denny's. Yeah,
what,
I got you.
What is Graham talking about? To where is that an actual quote from AMG?
What's going on here?
To where they couldn't figure out how to make 2 chest sculpts? Is that a legit quote?
I think so. Like I think that's why you can only get
Canadian bear feeding the bear.
Yeah,
they're just giving us more ammo to just load in the chamber.
Yeah, too bad we don't have an hour special. Next time on Roundtable, what grinds my gears? The Ryan edition. Yeah, just
yeah, that will literally be our podcast, and we'll be the first one to launch of when Wizards of the Coast gets the Star Wars license to continue Legion.
Man.
Anthony is coming in here that he still has Denny's nightmares, so that's fine. I still have PTSD from your Denny's experience, so there's that. My smell will never be the same. Ryan, where can people find your non-existent podcast?
Well, we're still working on it right now. Like we got to put it, and we're still waiting on you to sponsor it. So
yes,
it's called Friday Night Fights Tuesday Night.
Tuesday Night Roundtable.
Yeah, Tuesday Night Roundtable.
They're still working on the title. It's going to be on their website. That's also non-existent.
It's the Bastards of Legion. What it is.
It'll launch the same time as the Legion website does.
Okay, fair
maybe
enough.
Sooner.
You know, okay. Ryan, I've done a podcast before. I have all the equipment, Podbeam accounts, all that kind of stuff. All you got to do is get on a mic, bud. We can do this.
Perfect, easy. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it. We'll do it.
You guys should also cast from like non-disclosed locations too, and just have them like just
we'll
be like back alley stuff and like maybe Sleep Alley and Tuesday Night Trash Can. All right, Striker's working on a workable title. It's got a ring to it.
Works.
Oh, we love Striker.
Yeah, you guys can just sprinkle salt occasionally, and you can have some effects. You know, I'll give you guys some overlays. I'll do some overlays for you guys. So
there you go.
Yeah, it'll be a real effective stuff. So
awesome. The Legion market needs to be oversaturated with different takes.
Hey, we're not oversaturating. We're just doing things differently. So, all right. Well, what did we discover tonight? Well, we discovered that Bryant's given more prizes that I need to add there. Frank's painting 3 more models that are going on there. So that's 5 additional prizes added to the prize pool that was already over 45 prizes. So that's 50 giveaways. That's roughly 10 a turn. That's going to be a lengthy stream. So hopefully we'll have to string out.
We got you. Don't worry. We got you.
Well, yeah, we'll have it going on there. So battle forces abound. All the people are going to be picking all the battle forces. I feel like we're not going to give away many 501st battle forces, but maybe. Who knows? Maybe the points drop will be out, and 501st will move to the absolute best battle force. Who knows? But
what points drop?
I mean, the fictitious points drop that's bound to happen between now and the end of time.
To where the art producer said it's ready when it's ready.
I mean, that's the script. So that's the script. Oh, Jake reminding Saturday there will be a fun game to watch. Absolutely. Season 2. Travis, you're deep in Invader right now, eh? You're going single elims, is that right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Made in single elims. Yep.
Okay. Hey, nice. When I'm not saying that you will, but when you eventually end, you could end at the winner's circle. Will we see getting some league games in?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, yeah. Excellent. I look forward to that. So, and the race is on. It's the AMG website, or Ryan joins the league. I'm not sure which one's going to drop first, but that's the race. So
now, how long do I have? Because the email I got wasn't very specific.
Oh, what from AMG or?
No, for the league.
How long do you plan to live, Ryan? That's a good question. AMG website.
That's a good question. Yeah, I will probably live longer. That's okay. the time for that to drop.
Yeah. Anthony's doing both. I'm not sure if that's a call out to you, Travis, indicating that it sounds like you could do both, but I think he's letting people know. Anthony's also going on Elim. Did you what was your bracket like, Travis? What was your record?
4-1.
Okay.
And
okay, that's good.
It came down to a 3-way tie at 4-1 in my bracket.
Oh, and you got in though. You didn't get this.
Yeah. So literally, I played the guy. He got 8 victory points. I had 7.
Yeah.
And then I was 3-1. He was 4-1. And then I played another guy. who I beat him to become 4-1, but I didn't get any more victory points, so I was at 7.
Oh,
And then that tied me with the other guy that had to play that same guy, who, if he won and got a single victory point, it would have kicked me out.
oh man.
But they played recover, and they ended with a 3-3 tie because Boba got a bounty.
Oh,
And so
you only get VPs like above after whatever over
It's
and
your
above.
VP differential, up to 3
And
per
then-
game.
And then I won the head-to-head against the guy that I tied with 7 VPs, so I got to move on. It was
Well, good
I
for you.
was sweating both Saturday and Sunday on that
Yeah,
one. So,
you weren't even playing and you were sweating. So
yeah.
oh, that's cool. Okay, and did you rock Rebels?
Oh yeah, Operative
Okay.
Luke.
Okay, Operative Luke. And then again, not following everything about the league. When you go to the next round, are you locked into the list you have, or do you get a chance to now take a new list?
You can take a new list. I think you have to stay same faction, but you can completely overhaul your list.
Okay. Okay. Well, best of luck in the elims. Not that I want you to scrub out quick, but the quicker you scrub out, you can get into our. So you got basically 6 weeks. So you got to finish up your invader in 6 weeks, and then you can jump into round 2. So just in time for us to ban some Luke. Just
Or Den.
Did might
No,
actually.
I
say
want
that-
everybody to take Len. We're banning Luke or Sabine.
Yeah, I was like, Ryan, I thought Din sucked.
Wait a
Why
second.
would you want to ban him?
Wait a second. Maybe my cheap headset's not working, but it's not cheap. But did you say we? You actually have to be in the league to ban anything. So,
Ryan, your vote doesn't count.
I might have misheard.
Hey,
the
I'm an
we.
American. My vote doesn't count. You're right, Jace.
Fantastic, man. We can never stop that joke until Ryan joins.
Americans'
the league,
votes
so.
are the only ones that count.
That sounds like an amazing place to end. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Travis, Frank, Ryan, Jace. We'll see you guys all next week. I'll see you guys out. We're going to jump back to another screen. So have a great night, fellas.
You too. Thanks.
Okay. Cheers. Have a good night. Oh my goodness, these guys. All right, Jace, we'll jump back in so we can end this proper. Like, what did Stryker say in chat? See, I have to do all the others, so I don't get to read all the chat as quick here. He can't be in the
Stryker
league
said,
because then he has to play games with people that know the game. He is not wrong. He is not wrong, man. Although I didn't see Stryker signing up either.
Ooh.
Shots fired. Shots fired. All right. Well, that was a great episode, Jason. Went a little longer than normal, but that did not feel like 2 hours to me. I had
not at all.
A good time. That was a nice balance to otherwise busy day. It was a good day, but it was a busy day. So you can't beat up 8-year-olds. These our chat is pretty accurate. These people are spot on. So. Awesome. Well, make sure you get out. No one's safe. That's correct. Make sure you guys come back. Join us Friday. We'll talk about the Saturday game. Hopefully by Saturday we'll figure out where it's going to be casted. All the good things. You can do that. Sign up for the league if you haven't got a chance. The Discord's there. I put some posts on the Facebook. So if you just want to say, hey, what's the Discord? It's on the post. It's on the screen as well. I'll pop that up one more time. It's there. So you got the Discord handle. That's where you guys can go. Put that in. You'll get to the welcome channel. Find the one that says sign up. Check out the league rules. They're there. October 30th. That's the cutoff. Tuesday, November 1st, the league will launch. We'll have the maps. We'll have the groups made up. You guys will get them on the reveal show, and then immediately following, we'll start the timer on the first 6 weeks. Good luck to all players. Don't be afraid to come out. There's lots of new players and players that are willing to walk you through the ropes while cutting your throat at the same time. But you know what? You can learn the game and have a good time with it. So we do encourage you guys all to come check that out. All right, Jace, any final words for what? Oh, absolutely. Yeah, women, men, anyone's allowed to play in there. So we have no age limit. I mean, obviously, ask your parents if you can't purchase TTS or Discord or all those things. But if you wanna, if you're a youngster and want to try it out, feel free to join in for sure. So, all right, any parting shot? How far did you get on your models, Jace?
Oh, they were done. They were done a while ago.
Oh, fantastic.
I don't know what Ryan was saying about taking 4 hours to build an IG, but
do you ever know what Ryan's saying?
They were done. They were done when we got to Ben's list.
Oh, fantastic. Awesome.
Nope,
All right. Well,
never.
hopefully you guys enjoyed that too, the Make It Better. If you guys want to send us some list submissions for us to attempt to make it better, it should say attempt to make this better. But we're just going to call Make It Better because it's got more of a ring to it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. We'll do that again. If no one submits a list, I got a list to work on. We can have a look at it for next week. So oh, look at that. All right. Okay, Jace, we'll send people off and have a great night, everyone. And we'll catch you guys on Friday. Thanks for watching. Cheers.
Cheers.